Right now, in one of the most dangerous and strategically vital choke points on Earth, two U.S. Navy destroyers are moving through waters that could turn hostile without warning. The Strait of Hormuz, just about 21 miles wide at its narrowest, is responsible for carrying nearly 20% of the world's oil supply. That alone makes it critical. But today, it's not just important, it's volatile. Reports confirm that U.S. warships have begun active operations to counter naval mines in the region. On the surface, that might sound routine, like a standard naval task. But this is anything but routine. Not here. Not under these conditions. Because this mission isn't just about removing old threats buried under the sea. It's about reopening one of the most important arteries of global trade, while tensions with Iran remain dangerously unresolved. And hanging over this entire situation is one chilling question. What happens if something goes wrong? The two warships at the center of this operation are the USS Michael Murphy DDG-112 and the USS Frank E, Peterson Jr. DDG-121, both part of the highly capable Arleigh Burke-class destroyer fleet. These are not ordinary ships. Each one stretches roughly 510 feet long, displacing close to 9,000 tons of steel, technology, and firepower. They are equipped with the advanced Aegis Combat System, capable of tracking and engaging multiple threats simultaneously. On board are Tomahawk cruise missiles, SM-2 missile, and SM-6 missile interceptors, along with layered defensive systems designed for modern warfare. These ships are built for high-intensity combat, air defense, missile interception, anti-submarine warfare, you name it. But here's the surprising reality. They are not designed to clear naval mines directly. So why deploy them here? Because their true role is just as critical. They provide protection, coordination, and command. They act as the shield and the brain of the operation, ensuring that the slower, more vulnerable mine-clearing units can do their job without being exposed. And make no mistake, they are being watched. Iran has a long and well-documented history of closely monitoring U.S. naval movements in this region. From fast attack boats to surveillance drones and coastal radar systems, every move is being tracked. So imagine this scenario. A U.S. destroyer moving cautiously through a potentially mined corridor. Helicopters circling above. Unmanned systems scanning the depths below. And somewhere, unseen observers tracking every movement in real time. The tension is constant. The margin for error is almost zero. And the question becomes unavoidable. How quickly could this delicate operation escalate into something far more dangerous? Because mine clearing isn't just a technical task. It's a high-risk, multi-layered operation where every method used carries its own set of dangers. One of the most precise but time-consuming techniques is direct neutralization. This involves deploying remotely operated vehicles, often referred to as mine neutralization systems. These small underwater robots are equipped with cameras and explosive charges. They move slowly and carefully toward a suspected mine, visually confirm its identity, place a charge beside it, and then retreat before detonation. It's a highly controlled method, designed to minimize collateral damage and avoid unnecessary explosions. But it comes at a cost: speed. Every single mine must be approached individually. And during that entire process, the ship coordinating the mission remains in the area, exposed to potential threats. So the question becomes, how long can they afford to operate this way before the situation changes? And while you're thinking about that, drop a comment below saying proud of the USA if you respect the sailors carrying out missions like this under extreme pressure. These are the moments where precision meets courage. Another major method used is aerial mine countermeasures. The U.S. Navy deploys helicopters like the MH-53E Sea Dragon, a massive aircraft specifically designed for mine warfare. These helicopters tow specialized equipment through the water, including sonar systems, magnetic sleds, and acoustic devices. Their goal is either to detect mines or trigger them from a safe distance by simulating the presence of a ship. The biggest advantage here is speed. A helicopter can scan and cover vast areas of water much faster than any surface vessel or underwater drone. But this method isn't perfect. Sea conditions can interfere. Equipment can miss targets. And modern naval mines are far more sophisticated than older designs. They can be programmed to ignore certain signals or delay detonation. So even after a full sweep, there's always a lingering doubt. Would you trust that the path ahead is truly clear? Some mines are moored below the surface, tethered to the seabed by cables. To deal with these, specialized sweeping gear is dragged through the water to cut those cables. Once freed, the mines float to the surface, becoming visible targets. At that point, They can be destroyed using heavy machine guns, naval cannons, or controlled explosive charges. It's a method that has been used for decades and remains effective, but it has limitations. It only works on specific types of mines, and modern minefields rarely rely on a single design. Many of the most dangerous mines today don't require physical contact at all. They are influence mines designed to detect changes in sound, pressure, or magnetic fields caused by passing ships. Instead of finding them directly, forces simulate a ship's presence using specialized equipment to trigger them from a safe distance. It's efficient for clearing large areas, but it's unpredictable. What if a mine is programmed to wait? To ignore the first few triggers? Suddenly, you're dealing with a threat that isn't just reactive, it's selective and intelligent. This is where unmanned underwater vehicles are becoming game changers. These advanced drones scan the seabed using high-resolution sonar, identifying suspicious objects, and sometimes even carrying explosives to neutralize them. They reduce the need for human divers and keep crews at a safer distance. But they are not without challenges. Signal interference, cluttered underwater terrain, and heavy maritime traffic can complicate operations significantly. And in a place like the Strait of Hormuz, where commercial shipping is constant and the seabed is complex, those challenges multiply. Destroyers can also step in during the final stage of mine clearance. If a mine is brought to the surface or visually identified, ships like the USS Michael Murphy and USS Frank E. Peterson Jr. can engage it directly using machine guns, 25mm autocannons, and even their 5-inch naval guns. It's not their primary role, but in high-risk situations, speed matters, and this method can deliver exactly that. Alongside these destroyers, the U.S. Navy has deployed Avenger-class mine countermeasure ship vessels. These ships are specifically built for mine warfare. They feature non-magnetic hulls to avoid triggering mines, advanced sonar systems for detection, and the ability to deploy multiple drones and sweeping systems simultaneously. They are slower and lightly armed, but in a minefield, they are indispensable. And they depend heavily on the protection provided by larger warships like destroyers. This is where the situation could expand rapidly. The Strait of Hormuz is not just a U.S. concern, it is a global lifeline. Nations across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East rely on it for energy supplies. Countries like the United Kingdom and France have their own mine countermeasure capabilities and have previously operated in the region. So if tensions rise further, the question becomes, does this turn into a multinational operation, or does the United States handle it alone? Because the consequences of disruption here would ripple across the entire world. And then there's the scenario no one wants to face. Modern naval mines are capable of detonating beneath a ship, creating a massive gas bubble that lifts the vessel out of the water before slamming it back down. That kind of force can bend or even break a ship's structure. U.S. destroyers are built to withstand damage. They feature reinforced hulls, compartmentalized sections to contain flooding, advanced firefighting systems, and highly trained crews ready to respond instantly. In many cases, they could survive a strike and remain afloat. But survival doesn't mean unharmed. A serious mine explosion could disable propulsion, flood critical compartments, ignite fires, and force evacuation. And in the worst-case scenario, it could sink the ship entirely. So think about that. These vessels are operating in waters where that threat is real, not hypothetical. Every movement is calculated. Every decision matters. What's happening right now in the Strait of Hormuz is a powerful reminder of how fragile global stability can be. 2 destroyers, specialized mine hunters, helicopters, drones, and hundreds of personnel working together in one of the most sensitive regions on Earth. All while tensions remain unresolved. All while the world depends on that narrow stretch of water staying open. Because in a place like this, it doesn't take much. One mistake, one hidden mine, one miscalculation, and everything changes. If you found this breakdown insightful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the Defense Archives, and stay tuned for more deep dives into real-world military operations happening right now.